I think there are a lot of changes happening in the digital side, and for a for a long time, Aftermarket has been traditionally been a brick and mortar company and been working in the market with all the customers like distributors, retailers, and mechanics. And the interaction was spread out in terms of customer meets, retailer meets, corner meets, and product awareness campaigns or van campaigns. But I think of late we are seeing a lot of trend shifting to digital platforms. So many companies are using digital platforms to build their brands, and that's a very major change which is coming in the last 2 to 3 years we have seen. As an extension to this is also your emergence of players on the e-commerce. Many of independent aftermarket companies have now posted their products in Amazon, Flipkart, and one or two of them have gone ahead and are selling through their own websites. So I think this is a very big change we are seeing here.
So the current trends in the Indian auto market, it's very encouraging. It's very dynamic. There are a lot of developments happening, especially in terms of there's a huge demand for vehicle maintenance. As a result, because of this, there's a huge demand for spares, for genuine spares. And the market is highly unorganized. There are too many players now. In the last 5 years, I think the number of players have gone up significantly. So what's happening is that's why I'm saying the market is fragmented, too many players. There's a pressure on quality, there's a pressure on price. It's becoming highly price sensitive. So therein lies the challenge for organized players to up their quality, up their technological competence, and there's a lot of pressure from the OE brands as well. So it becomes very challenging for the Indian automotive aftermarket, and the space is becoming bigger. Example, if you take the passenger car, there are 40 million cars on the road. Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, the demand is going up. Rural is picking up. So it's very exciting. So that's how the Indian aftermarket is poised.
The most important trend is about the change in the customer preference. Okay, today customers are able to buy anything on the internet through apps on their mobile phones. So they expect the auto parts to be available similarly. But auto parts are not do-it-yourself. It is done by a garage. So there is a small difference, but still there are mechanics, there are garages who are looking for some solution which could be digital in nature. That is one. The second part of this is in aftermarket, what is impacting aftermarket is the commercial vehicle ownership, which is getting consolidated. The single truck owners are fewer in number compared to probably 2 decades ago. Compared to now, now it is probably large fleet companies which are emerging. Large fleet companies are looking for value. Okay, they are not necessarily looking only at the endorsement by the vehicle manufacturer or the brand or something which is intangible. They are looking at, okay, if I use this part, whether it is providing me the value, that is not just the price, the value in terms of safety for the vehicle and the performance of the vehicle, and downtime is minimized or eliminated. So that is another thing. And the commercial vehicle fleet trend now can be seen even in the passenger car, because the Olas and Ubers of the world are increasing, and then the car fleet is increasing, and with Rapido and others, I'm sure the two-wheeler fleet would also increase at some point in time.
See, let me put it this way. The aftermarket is growing. ACMA said 7% CAGR or something. That should happen. But if I were to look at challenges, it is a credit cycle. Today there seems to be a dearth of liquidity in the market. It's impacting a lot of businesses. People are getting a little skeptical about extending credit. Now this is a cycle that we need to reverse if the aftermarket has to boom. In my mind, that is the biggest challenge that we have today. The demand is always there, but it's about how much risk can an entrepreneur take, how much risk can an OEM take, how much risk can an OES take, because end of the day, if you don't collect your money, then what is the purpose? So if you ask me, that's the biggest challenge that we have today.
Yeah, the customer is very knowledgeable nowadays. The customer is demanding actually. The OEM cannot just give a part what the customer, what their product will get fulfilled. Normally what happens, the customer demands, I want more reliable part, I want the performance beyond the existing one, so like that. So opportunities are plenty. I think the market size is 1 billion Indian rupees. So certainly if the manufacturers are good enough to measure the pulse of the consumers, definitely they can win. The customer is not hesitating to pay more money or more cost, whatever is there, okay, for a very good product, very good performance, very good reliable product what you are going to give.
So I'd say that it's a very traditional system in India. We still have a lot of fragmentation, and that's the nature of the Indian auto aftermarket. I think it will take quite some time for that to evolve or change, if it ever does. So considering that, there are some unique challenges that the Indian aftermarket possesses, because reaching out to customers, making available parts when they're required, in the manner that they are required, is not so easy. Abroad you have buying groups, you have large outlets, automotive outlets. That's not the case in India. And I think given the nature of our urban landscape and everything, it's not going to change easily. So that's one thing. I think this conference actually is appropriate because we're talking about leveraging digital technologies, which I think is absolutely the need of the hour if we want to bring in more efficiency.
Well, aftermarket is, I think, rejuvenating or waiting for the cusp where where OES or OEM gives it an opportunity to emerge completely as a right to repair part that was being discussed. That a customer, whether he wants to go for a genuine part or a bona fide supplier in the spare part shop or a garage where a garage owner feels that he can take it from a proper automobile retailer and have the car repaired, which is not the case as of now. There's a very distinct division between OEM, OES and aftermarket, where aftermarket has to fight with the OES as well and even the OEMs where it has supplied. So these are some constraints on the aftermarket as of now in India. So going forward, we expect that this would change, as was the discussion today.